Hey guys, Matt with Carolina Coops, and today we're just outside of Delray Beach. We're about an hour north of Miami, so we're in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida. Behind me is a beautiful Carolina Coop that we just got done installing. The overall footprint is 10 foot by 30 foot, and this hen house is a 10 foot wide, 6 foot deep, and from here, from the bottom of the hen house to the top of here is about 4 foot, and I believe from the ground to the peak we're going to be a little over 8 foot. Now, this has all the normal features as far as the Carolina Coop, and we have a lot of videos out there, so I'll hit on that a little bit. But what I wanted to do is kind of capture what kind of made this overall situation a little bit unique, and try to really hit on some things I normally don't talk about. But we will go over the basics. I know if you're brand new to us and watching some videos, I'll try to hit on the things that you may be looking for. So for example, something I always forget to mention is how many chickens can you have in here. So actually, let's go ahead and just start inside the hen house. So now, one of the first things that made this unique is our client already had chickens. Most of our customers never had chickens before. So he's already had chickens, a lot of experience. Can't wait to get him on camera later. And last night we had to do a couple things. We have younger hens that we're bringing in and some existing older hens. So we're starting that acclimation process. We just put them in late last night. And if you're ever moving chickens or you're gonna put them into a new hen house, always highly recommend doing it at night, especially because their vision is just horrible at night. They're very easy to catch, and that helps keep the stress down. So that's what we did here. Now, it's kind of cool this morning, but we have been leaving the solid doors off, but I wanted to kind of keep them on to see if we can coax them to start going down the chicken door. And they just haven't done it yet. It hasn't even been, I don't think, even 12 hours yet since I've been in here. But someone did mention to me that he wanted to see some more chickens, so we also get a chance to capture that. So anyways, solid doors on screen doors, we're just gonna take them off right now. You can never have enough ventilation. Because they are brand new, I don't want to take any chances of them getting out. They will end up free ranging, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get inside the run. So we hop inside here. Right here is a carabiner. If you never knew what a carabiner was, this is it right here. That is designed, if you've ever seen a gate latch, there's a little hole right there. And this is to add extra security, especially raccoons. They got thumbs and pinkies. They could try to open that. They're not gonna be able to pull this carabiner off. So this just makes it extremely easy, unless you got people stealing your chickens and you might want to put a padlock on. We've had it happen. Anyways, let's take a look in here. See how beautiful they are. I want you to see how big it is. I forget how many chickens we have in here. And what we've also done, yeah, they're going to want to get out. We're keeping a very close eye on them. We are working on getting them used to the younger hens. It can be extremely, extremely difficult. She's beautiful. But when everything's starting over, everything's going to be new, that's a good time to try to do it. You really want to do it when they're the same size. They don't have to be the same age, and give them plenty of room. And as you can see, they have tons of room in here. And that reminds me of how I originally was talking about the number of chickens in here. So if you look at this, remember the hen house is 10 foot wide. So we actually have 3 10-foot roost bars. Now I like the 1 foot rule. I always talk about it. I like a king size bed. So that's 1 foot per hen, so up to 30 chickens. Industry standard, 8 inches. So I don't have a calculator on me, so do the math. Maybe we'll bring up those numbers later in the video editing. Thank you, Ingrid. Anyways, so this is inside the hen house. We've got the wonderful deep litter system. I've realized recently I just do not talk enough about the deep litter system. I take it for granted, but it is by far probably one of the best things about our chicken coops. So basically, inside there, you just start to compost the chicken droppings. And by composting inside the hen house, the way we have it designed with a food-safe, high-density polyethylene, you can go, depending on the number of chickens, you don't want to max out any hen house, but depending on the number of chickens, depending on the load of the droppings, you can go a year, 2 years, 3 years before you actually have to clean out your hen house. So think about that. One of the probably most awful things about the chore of having chickens and a normal chicken coop is cleaning it out the traditional way, like once a week. I know a couple people that actually enjoy doing it, to each their own. However, think about all that time having to clean that out once a week. Here, all our coops, doesn't matter if it's custom, all the way down to the American, the California coop, they all have the deep litter system. You start composting. saves you a ton of time, and is actually even healthier for the chickens. And we've talked about that in some other videos. So that's the inside the hen house. We're gonna let the girls be alone here. We're gonna actually hopefully coax them out in a little bit. If we step back a little bit, you'll notice a common color theme that we've been doing a lot. I absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely classy, beautiful. The all white color with the board and batten, and then we have the black hardware, black roof, absolutely gorgeous. And then of course you can see the fully functional handmade cupola that's up at the top. And when I say fully functional, what I mean is that actually is real. That's actually going to ventilate and allow that air that is going to warm up as it comes in. It's going to come back and go out through the top. Absolutely critical. If you're out chicken coop shopping, you're thinking about building your own, cannot emphasize enough, you got to have as much ventilation as possible and let that hen house breathe. Now the other thing that I'm a huge advocate of that you will not see with any other coops is just the sheer size. All right. Those little tiny coops, especially the ones coming from overseas, those are chicken coffins, those are death traps. We shouldn't even call them chicken coops anymore. It is absolutely critical to give them as much room, not just in the run space, which is critical, especially if you can't free range. But when you look at the size of that hen house, how much room we have, we're leaving ourselves room for error, if you will. We're in Florida. It's going to get warm down here. But there is so much room in there so that it won't heat up and ventilate. So absolutely critical when it comes to the health and safety of chickens. We have an egg hutch on each side. Because the hen house is 6 foot deep, we don't have just our standard 3 gang or 3 nest box egg hutch. This one's actually a 5 gang. So I'm going to open this up. Again, another carabiner, nice and simple. Drop this. Oh, we already have some laying. Sweet. All right, so one of the things that I forget to mention also, when you're looking at chicken coops, and one of the things I love about the design of our egg hutches is this drop-down door on the back. If you've ever had chickens, or you're thinking about building a nest box, either way, one of the things that you'll see a lot is that the roof lifts up. Chickens hate that, and it makes sense. Chickens are very aware of aerial predators. They want to make sure nothing's going to come down and grab them. So you don't want to trigger that fear by lifting this roof up. But when you can lift this down, it doesn't startle them like it would if the roof was lifting up. Personal opinion, if you got problems with the chickens making a mess, defecating inside your egg hutch, you got bigger problems. So one of the things I love about all our designs is by bumping out that egg hutch and making sure as you're acclimating your chickens to the hen house, you're teaching them good habits. And that is to get them up on the roost bars, roosting at night, and not sleeping in your egg hutches. If you have younger hens and you just put them inside the hen house, make sure you close off those egg hutches. The other big thing that makes this coop very unique is the client wanted to put in a concrete footer, and the question I get a lot about that is it necessary? My answer is no. All our coops come with where it touches the ground is all ground contact pressure treated rated lumber. If you're putting in a concrete pad, if you have it in your budget, it's not going to hurt. And here's a textbook example. You should be able to see it because he hasn't done his grading yet. This was his way of how he wanted to level it off. So when we got here, we had a nice level surface to work on. So you can see it drops down. Well, we got a little bit of sand there, but you can see it drops down, I don't know, probably about 24 inches. And he's going to come back and backfill that. So you can do that with landscape timbers. In this case, obviously a concrete footer. It's going to be a lot more expensive, but that's completely up to you. The other reason why he wanted to do the concrete footer is he went down, I believe, about 3 foot. And that is another way to keep animals from digging underneath, so we did not have to put the predator apron on. Now, when we got here, the one other thing that we've never done before that he asked, and I think it turned out really sharp, is we actually, in our shop back in New York, we cut our own sill plate. We put a little, I guess you call it a chamfer rip on it. There's a bevel to shed water off like a windowsill is. And then we put that down, we tapped conduit into the top of the footer, and the painters came back after us and painted that all black. So I just think that's a really sharp look. Way overkill, unnecessary, but it doesn't hurt. Coming around here, you'll notice the downspout. So he did put gutters on both sides. When we get to the other side, you'll see we are collecting rainwater for the water bar system. Another one of those things that's not necessary, but it is nice. Again, if you have it in your budget, we put gutters on. You can put your own gutters on. When the water comes off, you won't get the splash back when it hits around the ground area and splash that dirt back, so it'll stay a lot cleaner on the bottom part of the entire coop area. Here's the other egg hutch that I was talking about. Let's see what's going on in here. We got another girl laying. Again, they haven't even been in here. Let's see, it was 8 o'clock last night, so it's actually right about 12 hours, about 8:30 in the morning right now. They're already in here laying. It's beautiful. It's just that easy with the right setup. Over here, the client already went ahead and got his own rain barrel, and all we did was we actually made him a custom water bar. We hooked up his existing water barrel. Here we got the chicken coop. We got the beautiful palm trees in the back. We got the water. But let's pan over this way. We have this giant open pasture, and I asked the owner about it, and he goes, well, I haven't built my house yet. So what's funny is he wanted the chicken coop here first, and a lot of his property and design of everything he plans on doing is all kind of based around the chicken coop. So I thought that was kind of funny. So coming down here, you may notice we have one on each side. We have two what we call chicken run doors, and on the inside of each run door is our chicken guardian, the automatic door. Right now we have it set on manual. Because the girls are new to the hen house, we don't want them free ranging yet. We want them to be able to get used to this home, and once those good habits have been established, then we can start letting them free range and they'll come back like clockwork. And here you'll notice on the other end, we're down a good 24 inches. So again, he's going to bring his grade back up to here. So when that's all done, the side walls are 6 foot. So it might look a little odd because of how low I am on the ground. Another carabiner. We're just going to open up this run door right now. I think it'll be all right. The other question we get a lot is, what do I use inside the run as far as, your soil? And I always tell people, especially if you cannot free range, chickens are a natural woodland animal. Make it as it's the forest floor. This particular client, he's very, very concerned about the run smelling, and especially with all the rain they get. And I cannot emphasize this enough. To solve that problem, if you're ever building a run, or you're out chicken coop shopping, you absolutely want a solid roof over the entire run. I always tell people you would rather have a dry problem than a wet problem. And it already rained here a little bit, and the client was here, and I said, see, I told you, and it stayed perfectly dry in here. Yeah, you're gonna get a little sideways rain. That's not gonna hurt anything. You don't want water to get in here and sit and cause bigger problems for you. What I'm getting at though is, and I know sand is readily available down here in Florida. Sand's going to drain water, and we talked about it, and he said, I just feel more comfortable going with the sand. Then do it. I'm very thankful his chickens are going to free range. This is not something that I would say is ideal if the chickens were in here full time. I love as organic, natural soil as possible so that the microbes can benefit in here to break down the droppings. Throwing your table scraps in here. You never want to overfeed them, but you want to be able to let the ground do its thing. I do also have a lot of clients that they love sand because they're able to come in here and clean it like a kitty litter box. If you got that kind of time and that works for you, then go for it. That's a nice benefit about having a large run like this. You can walk right in, clean it out if you have to, but again, I cannot emphasize this enough. You should never have to clean out your run. If you do, you got either too many chickens or something is wrong. Another thing you'll notice, customer, I say it's completely not necessary, but it doesn't hurt. We are, hurricanes come through here. You do want to be careful when you're in a wide open area. When it comes to wind, if that wind comes in, hits the front of that hen house, it will try to lift this entire structure. It's going to act like a parachute. Everything is screwed in as far as the trusses, and we added these hurricane straps just for extra security. And it brings up another point where we're talking about, especially when we're out west with areas where you get a lot of earthquakes. One of the things I love about our coops is I often refer to them like a boat in the ocean. If the ground's going to shake, and we've actually had this happen once, if a coop's going to blow away, I'd rather see it able to float on the ground. And obviously we don't ever want a coop to fly away, but this happened, where were we, up in Maryland years ago, and I warned the clients to definitely anchor it down. And I'll never forget, he said, well, if it ever blows away, it'll blow apart in pieces. I want to say it was like 2 weeks later, he sent me a picture. He goes, wow, Matt, you were right. The wind caught it, tipped it over, and actually got 100 yards, blew it into his field. Maybe I can try to find that picture, but nothing broke on it. Just goes to show the importance of how secure these coops are. Anyway, so you take a look at this. We made a custom water bar. So he's going to end up with about 30 chickens. Our client is well aware of chicken math. He's already guilty of it. So he wanted to make sure we built a water bar custom so that they'll accompany all his chickens with his water needs. Now, on average, I would say 4 to 6 hens per nipple. So we got 12. So what's that, like 48? Yeah, 48 chickens. So we definitely got that covered. We're down in, we're an hour north of Miami, so I don't know if it ever freezes here, but he didn't want to go with the heated system. We just got a regular water bar here. You'll notice some other things that actually happened behind the scenes is, and this is quite interesting, for whatever reason. Now, if you look at these 3 nipples right here, these are my absolute favorite. These are the originals. These are the horizontal spring-loaded nipples. They stopped making these. And then China comes in and they copy them. They can't even copy them right. So luckily we found some really, really good ones, and our client happened to have some extras. This was a complete afterthought. We built this after we were already here, and he goes, well, I got some nipples. Couldn't believe it, absolute garbage. One of them broke extremely easy. We have no extras, so we put that one in here, and the chickens will actually still use this, but we put that in there to stop the water. But we also found out is they wouldn't bite into the PVC. It was an absolute nightmare. So we're going to send them some much better ones. So I guess the point of that is if you're out chicken nipple shopping, be careful. We sell them all the time. You can definitely always order them from us. Oh, wait, I almost forgot another major point here. One of the things I love when we get into our big 10-foot wide coops is we do a lot of like 4x4 mortise and tenon joinery. Never seen that. Ingrid, bring the link up so you can check that out. It's very expensive to do mortise and tenon joinery with the 4x4 construction. I love the beefier vertical columns. It looks right with these larger coops. A great way to spend a little bit less money and still have it look really good is what we call sandwiched walls. All right, so if you ever wondered, well, what in the world is sandwiched walls? That's it right here. Now, our normal Carolina Coops, especially our most common size, your 4x6 henhouse with a 6x12 run, we just do regular Douglas fir 2x4 construction. And what we've done with these bigger ones is we've sandwiched the walls. We've doubled it up. It's not structurally necessary, but it does give it that beefier look, cleaner look, and this is textbook right here. And we absolutely love it. We love it so much we even thought about making a standard for these Carolina Coops because it can get a little confusing. But again, sandwich walls, that's it right here. And we even sandwiched, take a close look at the Chicken Guardian here. Sandwiched all this around here. Looks really good. This is it right here. Again, we have these on manual so that chickens can't get out. And I think that might be it for inside the run. Just please notice I'm 5'8", and I wish I had a tape measure on me. I should know. That's definitely over 8 foot. There's nothing better than being able to walk inside your entire run, not do one of these bending down. All right, so Joe, what do you got in here?
Dried mealworms, their favorite. So I usually feed them every morning with this just to keep them quiet and get the day going. So let's see if we can get them to come down with it. One thing we did yesterday is we've got 8 new hens in here that are only 2 months old. And we put them in together last night for the first time, and I don't think we've had any problems, which is good.
Yeah, I'm actually very happy just by the sound alone. Like you can even tell by if the chickens are happy or stressed by the sound. Adding younger hens or new hens to an existing flock, that can be a nightmare. But if you're ever going to do it, one of the best times is under these circumstances where you have a whole new home, everything's kind of starting over. But it is definitely best to try to do it while they're about the same size. And the other nice thing in this situation is you've got to give them lots of room. You got to give them a chance to escape if need be. And I can't say it enough, so important to have as big of a coop as possible. Come on, Rocky.
Feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
I got you. Oh, you got him. Her.
You're a bum.
Oh, my God. Grease lightning. Look at this. We just wanted to capture real quick. So Joe, a.k.a. Rocky, went up there, caught some chickens. We got them all down here. And just go to prove how nice it is to have a nice big run. The younger hens, they got room to run away. There's going to be a little scuffling. It's just going to happen when we go to free range. It's going to make it even easier.
Better learn how to land, buddy.
They're already on their water bar.
These 4 together, they were brought up together. This little crew that's over here together, they were brought up together.
Yep, they will always know their sisters. It's incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. Also, if you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe, especially if you've enjoyed this video without seeing any commercials. I can't stand watching a YouTube video now. I absolutely refuse to sell out. So for that point alone, please subscribe. And of course, Instagram, Facebook, check us out there. And you can always give us a call, 919-794-3989, or go visit us at carolinacoops.com. Thanks for watching.